So let's dive right in. Have you ever actually heard about Gary Dahl? The guy who, back in the 70s, became a millionaire selling, well, pet rocks.
Oh, the pet rock story. Yeah, it's legendary, isn't it?
It really is. He literally just picked up some smooth stones from a beach,
Right.
put them in a little box with straw, wrote this genuinely funny manual on how to care for your pet rock.
Which was brilliant marketing in itself.
Totally. And people just bought them. Millions of them. It's kind of crazy.
It is.
So, okay, when you unpack that, what's the real takeaway there? What does that tell us about selling something?
Well, I think what's so fascinating and really relevant even now is that it shows success isn't always about some, revolutionary invention.
Right, not the next big tech thing.
Exactly. It's just such a powerful example of how crucial presentation is. And having a good story, a bit of charm.
And confidence, just putting it out there.
Absolutely, the confidence.
Yeah.
And if you think about that in terms of like today's world with Etsy, TikTok Shop, all these online places, it kind of makes you wonder, right? If someone managed to sell a literal rock, well, what's stopping any of us from sharing something we've actually made? Something with, a bit of effort behind it.
That's such a good point. It really flips the script because I think a lot of people listening might think, oh, I'm not creative or I can't sell crafts online.
Yeah, that's a common feeling.
But maybe the secret isn't being some kind of artistic genius. Maybe it's more about, like you said, presentation, story, and maybe seeing opportunities others miss.
Precisely. And that leads us right into what we want to dig into today. We're looking at how those principles apply to something simple, something accessible specifically. Clay keychains.
Clay keychains. Okay.
Yeah. Our mission here really is to pull out the most useful bits of info for you so you can quickly grasp the potential here, both creatively and, potentially profitably.
Without getting totally overwhelmed by it all.
Exactly. Because these little things, these keychains, they hit this really interesting sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
They're accessible. The materials aren't super expensive, and there's actually quite a bit of potential online.
Mm-hmm.
People are looking for unique little things.
Yeah, like what specifically?
Oh, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Keychains shaped like cartoon characters,
Mm-hmm.
little portraits of pets, names, initials,
Mm-hmm.
tiny food items or huge flowers.
Right, those little miniature things.
Yeah. They make great unique gifts or, party favors. Even small businesses sometimes want custom ones for a personal touch.
Interesting.
And the kicker is you can genuinely start making these right from your kitchen table. Often you don't need like a fancy kiln or a huge upfront investment.
Okay, I'm really curious about that part. No kiln, not much money needed.
Mm-hmm.
For someone listening who maybe feels like they have, let's say, zero artistic skill,
Mm-hmm.
how fast can they realistically get from zero to having something they could actually sell? Because it sounds maybe a little too easy.
It's actually surprisingly quick. That's kind of the beauty of it. Your main material is polymer clay.
Mm-hmm.
Brands like Sculpey, Fimo, people find ones they like the feel of.
Mm-hmm.
Then you need key rings, maybe lobster clasps. You can get those super cheap online if you buy a small batch.
In bulk.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And for shaping, you can totally start with stuff you already have. Toothpicks, a butter knife, maybe a pen cap. Seriously.
Oh, okay. Resourceful.
Yeah. But, if you get more into it, maybe you buy some basic clay tools or even little silicone molds if you want things really uniform, which helps if you're making multiples.
Makes sense for scaling up.
Right. And baking. Just
Yeah.
your regular home oven on a baking sheet. This stuff bakes at pretty low temperatures, like usually around 250, 275 Fahrenheit. Totally safe.
And that's it.
Pretty much.
I'm
Maybe a coat of varnish or gloss at the end to give it that finished professional look. But yeah, that's the core setup.
Okay, let's walk through actually making one. Because even if the setup is simple, I imagine the making part might still feel intimidating.
It's really quite intuitive, honestly.
Yeah.
You start with your idea, simple initial, little strawberry, whatever. Take a small piece of clay, roll it, shape it, smooth it out. One really important step for keychains. Before you bake it, you need to embed a little metal eye pin or a screw thingy right into the top.
Ah, so you can attach the ring later.
Exactly. Then you just bake it following the package instructions, usually like 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Let it cool completely, maybe add that varnish, attach the key ring,
Hmm.
and boom, you've made something unique.
Wow.
And, the real insight for selling these small things online isn't just taking a good photo. It's about capturing that tactile quality. the handmade charm.
What do you mean?
Like maybe close-up shots showing the texture, or a quick video showing it off, maybe even highlighting the little imperfections that make it obviously not mass-produced. People actually like that.
That authenticity. Well, okay, beyond just making a keychain, how do you make one that someone actually wants to buy? You mentioned niches earlier.
Right. That's where understanding the market comes in. It's not just I made a keychain. It's who am I making this for? We're seeing huge demand for like really specific fandom keychains. For specific shows or games, or things that fit aesthetic trends like cottagecore or whatever is currently popular.
So you got to be paying attention.
Yeah, the real deep dive is spotting those little micro trends. So for example, you could make keychains like tiny book spines for readers.
Oh, cute.
Or little sports equipment for fans, zodiac signs. If you want to reach younger buyers, maybe pastel colors or designs based on trending memes.
Right.
And holidays, that's a huge opportunity. Valentine's, Halloween, Christmas themes. The fact that it's customizable means you can react pretty quickly to what people are looking for.
That makes a lot of sense. But okay, for someone just starting out, isn't there a danger of trying to do everything, like chasing too many trends and getting burnt out?
That's a really good question. And yes, that's definitely a risk, a common one.
So how do you narrow it down?
The best advice, I think, is to start with what you actually like.
Oh.
Or what you know something about.
Start personal.
Yeah. If you love coffee, make coffee cup keychains.
Yeah.
If you're obsessed with your dog, try making little dog breeds.
Yeah.
That authenticity, it comes through.
Okay.
Find that first niche, really explore it, see what's already selling well on places like Etsy within that specific area. Look at what kind of TikTok videos get attention for similar items.
Do your research, basically.
Right. Get good at one thing before you try to branch out everywhere. It keeps you focused and stops you from feeling like you have to, conquer the entire internet overnight.
Okay, that feels more manageable. So you've made some things, you've picked a niche. Where do you actually put them up for sale? Where do buyers find them?
Well, the most obvious places are platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and especially Etsy.
Etsy makes sense for handmade stuff.
Definitely.
Oh.
It's free to set up a shop, and crucially, people are already going there looking for handmade goods. So there's existing traffic.
Right. And Instagram and TikTok.
For those, it's less about just posting a picture and more about creating engaging content. Short videos are key.
Like showing the process.
Exactly. Showing yourself making them, maybe talking about your inspiration, showing off the finished product, maybe even a fun little clip showing how sturdy they are. Personality goes a long way.
Okay.
And hashtags are important, but don't just use generic ones like hashtag clay keychains. Dig deeper. Think about those niches. Use long tail keywords like hashtag book lover gifts or hashtag plant mom finds.
Specificity.
Yeah. And on TikTok, pay attention to trending sounds or challenges that you could maybe adapt for your keychains. It helps get eyeballs on your stuff.
And what about offline?
Good point. Don't forget about local craft fairs or artisan markets. Maybe approach local gift shops. Or even offer custom logo keychains for small businesses that often like unique branded little giveaways.
Lots of avenues then. It's about more than just being seen. It's about being seen by the right people.
Exactly. Connection.
And speaking of connection, let's talk packaging for a sec. How important is that for something small and handmade like a keychain?
Oh, it's huge. It's such a powerful lesson. Packaging is part of your brand story.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be fancy or expensive either.
Like what?
Just think simple. A clean backing card, maybe white cardstock or brown craft paper, a little clear sleeve or maybe small organza pouch.
Okay.
Maybe add a sticker with your shop name or even just a simple handwritten tag saying thanks. These little things, they're not just protecting the item. They create a moment of delight for the buyer.
Right. That unboxing experience, even for something small.
Exactly.
Okay.
Think about when you're scrolling online. Sometimes it's not the product itself, but the way it's presented, the care you can see that makes you stop and look.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember seeing one seller who had these slightly wonky teapot keychains, and they totally leaned into it in their description and packaging. They sold out because people loved the charm, the imperfection, the honesty of it.
That authenticity again.
And offering simple gift wrap or a little personalized note option. That can turn a simple purchase into more of an experience. It builds that connection people often crave when they buy handmade.
So as we kind of wrap this up, thinking about everything we've discussed, the main thing really seems to be you don't need to wait for some viral sensation. You just have to, well, start.
Absolutely. Just begin.
The more you actually make things, the better you'll inevitably get.
Yeah.
And the more you share what you're doing, even if it feels small, the more doors you open,
That's it.
And remember that every little thing you make, it carries a bit of your energy.
Yeah,
That's part of what people are buying, not just a keychain, but something made by you with your story kind of baked into it.
that's so true. And there really is a growing space out there for these kinds of items, thoughtful, handmade, simple things. There's a big audience now that genuinely wants to support real people, real creators who are building something with, heart.
Yeah.
So maybe connecting back to that pet rock one last time. If someone could sell a rock in a box, it kind of begs a question for you listening, doesn't it? What simple thing, maybe something thoughtful or handmade, could you put out there? Something with purpose, with your story, and just the confidence to share it. What everyday object might carry your unique energy, just waiting to find its audience, an audience that's actively looking to support creators just like you.
Thanks a lot for listening. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. If this episode gave you even a tiny push to start something, that's a win for both of us. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this. Take care and keep creating.